Brody Gavolt, the Hillary Health story, alive and kicking. Welcome everybody to another edition of the Brody Files. So much for right-wing conspiracies. Now the mainstream media can't help but pay attention to this story. We're going to actually pay attention to it as well in a moment. But first, our exclusive interview with Donald Trump. He recently appeared in D.C. at the Values Voters Summit. Got a very good reception. Of course, we're the Brody Files, so we had our backstage pass to see Trump, kind of like our backstage pass for Hannah Montana. And so here we go. Join us backstage at the Values Voters Summit. Let me ask you a little bit about the debate strategy coming up. What do you need to do? What do you want to accomplish in these debates specifically against her?
Win. That's all I want to do. I want to win. Look, she's a bad person. She's a person that has done a horrible job. Her judgment is flawed. She is a person who's taken us into wars, and thousands and thousands and thousands of lives have been lost. You look at what she's done. You look at her strategies. She has no strategy. I mean, Bernie Sanders said it, bad judgment. She has bad judgment. And you can't have this as president. This would be 4 more years of Obama and worse. And as far as the evangelicals are concerned, you can just forget it. She would be actually a disaster.
I was going to ask you about that because there are a lot of traditional conservative Christians that believe that she is very, if you want to call it, anti-biblical in many of her positions, abortion, same-sex marriage. What's your view on what she would mean to Christianity being under attack in this country?
Well, I think she'd be, it is under attack. I mean, you just have to look and see what's happening. It's under tremendous attack. I saw yesterday where they were praying before a football game, and now they're all in trouble for praying before a football game. Who ever heard of this one? Mm-hmm. And those are policies that she agrees with. I don't know if you saw that, the football game where they were praying in the locker room, and now they're in trouble because they heard they were praying in the locker room. And who would have thought this could have happened to our country? And that's Hillary Clinton, and that's people that are supporting Hillary Clinton, but that's not Donald Trump.
I talked to Michelle Bachmann about a week ago. She is very concerned that this will be, and these are her words, the last election, because if Hillary Clinton is president, she's going to do the amnesty thing. It's going to be a lot of citizenship for illegal immigrants, and we won't be able, she's talking as a Republican, won't be able to get this country back. Do you agree with that?
I think it's going to be the last election that the Republicans can win. If we don't win this election, you'll never see another Republican, and you'll have a whole different church structure. You're going to have a whole different Supreme Court structure. And that has to do a lot with what we're doing, because the Supreme Court is, as you know, with Justice Scalia gone, I think you could probably have 4 to 5 judges picked by the next president. Probably a record number, David, probably a record number of judges. And if they pick, the super liberals, probably to a certain extent, people that would make Bernie Sanders happy, you will never have a Supreme Court. We're going to end up with another Venezuela, large-scale version. It would be a disaster for the country.
Just so I understand, when you say last election, are you referring to what Michelle Bachmann was talking about with the citizenship? Because she's going to provide, or Hillary's talking about potentially providing citizenship for many of these illegal citizens. That means Florida and Texas could be gone.
Sure. I think this will be the last election if I don't win. I think this will be the last election that the Republicans have a chance of winning, because you're going to have people flowing across the borders. You're going to have illegal immigrants coming in, and they're going to be legalized, and they're going to be able to vote. And once that all happens, you can forget it, because I guarantee you're not going to have one Republican vote, and it's already a very hard number. Already the path is much more difficult for the Republicans. You just have to look at the maps, and the path is much more difficult. But we're leading. We're leading in a lot of polls. I think the evangelicals and people of religion, frankly, but I think the evangelicals are going to get out and really vote this time. What we're doing in terms of the Johnson Amendment is so absolutely vital. And for the people that don't know the Johnson Amendment, that was where Lyndon Johnson, around 1954, was having a hard time with the church, and he wanted to silence the pastors and ministers, and frankly, priests and rabbis. I guess you could also include everybody, but he wanted to, in this case, silence religion, because he was given a hard time. And he passed an amendment that basically takes tax exemption away if anybody gets involved, says things, gets involved politically. Your leaders, ministers, pastors, and we're going to get rid of that amendment so that they can speak openly and freely. And I'll tell you, I really think that that's had a huge impact on evangelicals, on Christianity, Because if you look at it, it's not exactly like a rocket ship. I mean, I used to go to Sunday school. You don't hear that so much anymore, and lots of other things. So I'm very proud to say that if we get in, we're going to get it done too. We're going to get rid of the Johnson Amendment, and our ministers, our pastors will be able to go and speak.
Donald Trump one-on-one with the Brody file. You know who else went one-on-one with the Brody file? Actor John Voight. That's right, the Deliverance actor. Cue banjos. Anyhow, he was in D.C. stumping for Trump. He spoke to our very own Abigail Robertson. Have a look.
Why are you supporting Donald Trump in this election?
Well, you're asking very good questions. Because I think we're in a spot in the United States. I say in my speech that we have a darkness is covering our country right now, and we need someone who's got a lot of strength and is unafraid and has an ability to solve problems. And he's the fellow.
And have you seen any backlash for supporting Donald Trump?
No, is there any?
All right, now let's get to the Hillary Clinton health issue. Boy, oh boy, this is not the visual you want if you're the Hillary Clinton campaign. They've been trying to avoid this for months, but they can't anymore. And the fact that they were actually forced into admitting that she had pneumonia for 2 days, that's right, they had to wait 2 days until they saw that video came to light. Well, it plays right to the perception that she and her campaign are always hiding information. Still, Donald Trump is doing the smart thing, staying out of it for the most part. Wow, discipline by Donald Trump. You know, Donald Trump might not be saying much about the health issue, but the Brody file is. Time for a quick Brody file commentary. Look, who knows exactly what we're going to find out about her health in the next month or two? This is a drip, drip, drip scenario, just like the email private server story. Nobody can ever get a straight answer out of the Clinton campaign. And while that's bad news for Clinton, it's great news for Trump because it plays into the narrative. It's a narrative that he has been a politician who's been around for too long in a corrupt system. The health story looks fishy. The emails look fishy. Both smell stinky. And it can all mean a bed of roses for Trump come Election Day. We're back in a moment.